3, 2, 1, stop nuclear testing. 3, 2, 1, stop nuclear testing. How's the sound, person? Hi, my name's Jose. I want to welcome you to Politically Correct Cooking, a show about two of my favorite things, food and politics. Now, since we've started this show, we've been getting letters from folks saying, hey, Jose, you have a show about vegetarian cooking, you have a show about politics. When are you going to get the animal rights person on the show to talk about animal rights? I was walking down the street the other day, somebody rolled down the window of a car and yelled, hey ho, where's the animal rights people? Enough already, okay? This show will answer your cards, your letters, your phone calls, yelling out the window, where's the animal rights person? This is the show. Today on our show, we have a representative from an organization that causes people in the fur industry, people in the meatpacking industry, people in the cosmetic industry, their knees turn into globs of guava jelly when they hear the word PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. Now, our guest tonight, her name is Robin. She's from PETA, and I want to welcome her to the show. Robin, come on down. I'm glad you can make it to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad your warden could let you off some free time to do the show.
You know, animal rights people, we're always behind bars when we're trying to help animals.
Because I know we've tried to have you on the show earlier, but for one reason or another, you've been detained and things like that. So I'm glad you can make it.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Now, tell me what is going on. Did I get hit in the head with a rock or something? The opening video, it's a really horrific video about a meat packing plant.
It is.
Tells what happens when little piggy goes to market, and I'm looking at like hot dogs and hamburgers.
You are indeed.
Did you get hit in the head with a rock? What's going on?
No, tonight I brought hamburgers and hot dogs to the show to show people that you can eat things that look like meat, but that they don't have the animal cruelty in them. These products are made with soybeans. These are tempeh burgers. It's a cultured soybean product, and these are vegetarian hot dogs made again from soybeans. And of
they
course
look like a hot dog.
And there's spices in them that will make it taste like a hot dog. But again, there are no animal products in that.
I don't taste cow hooves or beef lips in this.
No.
It tastes really good.
Well, good. I'm glad you like it. And we're going to cook them up, and you're going to really enjoy them. You know, that's true. There are all kinds of gross animal parts that go into hot dogs. There are hooves and lips and all of this scrap meat that otherwise would not be used.
This is delicious, folks. You ought to try it. Now, PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. What exactly is it, and can you tell us about what your responsibilities are?
Sure. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals is the nation's largest animal rights organization. We have 400,000 members, and we are primarily an educational organization. What we do is we educate people about animal abuse. We address all areas of animal abuse, but we focus on some major campaigns. We have a campaign about the fur industry. We're trying to get men and women to stop buying and wearing furs. We have a campaign called the Compassion Campaign, and that is geared towards educating consumers about cosmetic and household product testing. We also encourage or lobby and boycott cosmetic companies that continue to test their products on animals.
And I understand you've been very successful. A lot of companies have stopped
There are over 400 companies have stopped testing. Two that we have major campaigns against. They are L'Oreal and Lancome. They're essentially one company. And Gillette. They continue to test their products on animals, even though consumer pressure is calling for an end to animal testing. We have a campaign against animals in entertainment. For example, when you go to the rodeo or when you go to the circus, not many people look behind the big top or at the traveling conditions, for example, of rodeo animals. And we encourage, through our educational efforts, people who patronize these places to look in the behind the big top and in the travel areas for the animals at the rodeo.
Well, before we go any further, why don't you tell me what you want me to do?
Okay.
And also, so our audience is aware of what's on the menu. We're going to be putting the hot dogs and the vegetarian hot dogs and the veggie burgers. Heat them up.
Right.
And I guess what I should be doing here is possibly...
Can you do the lettuce?
Okay.
And I'll do the tomatoes.
Do the tomatoes.
Okay.
This is a really good knife. My
Thank
mom
you.
loves that knife.
Oh, great. I might just take it home with me.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I'm
Now, your job in PETA is...
I am the vegetarian campaign coordinator, and that means that I focus on one of our final campaigns that I did not mention a minute ago, which is the vegetarian campaign. We have an educational campaign that is directed at consumers. Again, we are trying to educate consumers about where their dinners come from, about what happens to animals before they become someone's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Right. We are convinced that educated consumers are compassionate consumers, and that their compassion will then be reflected at the grocery store. And you will see that in their purchases at the grocery store, there'll be more vegetables and no meat.
I'm sure a lot of people who saw that opening video realize that meat is murder. The stuff that goes on, meat is not just something that comes in a little unrecyclable styrofoam container wrapped in plastic at your grocery.
Right.
But it's actually a warm-blooded animal with a warm nose, and you know, has kids, has parents, things like that.
Has feelings and needs and wants. There are many more people becoming vegetarian in our world. Celebrities have jumped on the bandwagon, on the vegetarian bandwagon, if you will, and are lending a hand to our cause. Katie Lang is one of those celebrities. She did a PSA for us explaining why meat stinks. You know, meat stinks for many reasons, and Katie Lang explains it in a beautiful PSA that we've aired all over.
By coincidence, we have that PSA.
Great.
So why don't we roll that PSA right now so our viewers can see it? It's
Great.
Excellent. Take it away, Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Lang, and this is Lulu. We're with the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. We all love animals, but why do we call some pets and some dinner? If you knew how meat was made, you'd lose your lunch. I know, I'm from cattle country, and that's why I became a vegetarian. Meat stinks, and not just for the animals, but for human health and the environment. Please write me on a free brochure on how to become a vegetarian. There's millions of us. And I'll even send you one of my favorite recipes. Write me at PETA, Washington, D.C., 20015, and I really hope to hear from you soon. Right?
All right, KD. I can guarantee you one thing. We're not going to lose our lunch here.
No, we are not.
Well, it looks like we've got enough stuff here. I guess we're ready to delve further into the menu.
Yeah. Can you be responsible for the veggie burgers?
I can.
All right, I'm going to do the veggie hot dogs.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Tell me what you want me to do.
Just we've got a little bit of oil in here. Just going to need to be browned on either side. And here's a spatula for you to use.
Okay.
And I'm going to put in a few. There you go. Just a couple, 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
I think so. That would work.
Now, as a vegetarian coordinator, I have some friends. They've come up to me because they know I do this show.
Right.
And they say, you know, we didn't claw our way up to the top of the food chain to eat vegetables. What's going on? Well, what can you tell folks like that who like the taste of meat, who like the real burgers?
The real thing. Well, first of all, I encourage them to try the veggie burgers. And then I say, well, you know, Katie Lang really hit the nail on the head when she said meat stinks. Stinks for the animals, stinks for the environment, and it stinks for human health. And let me tell you why. It's obvious why it stinks for the animals. They lose their lives to feed Americans, to feed the American meat addiction. But before they are killed, they live in terrible, terrible conditions. They now live in what are called factory farms. For example,
the chickens that are no longer just walking around in a yard pecking.
No, they live inside their entire lives. Do you know that they never feel the earth under their feet? They never feel the sunshine on their backs? They never peck at the ground for their food? They are inside for their whole lives. The reason they're inside their whole lives is because it enables the farmer to increase his or her profit. And another way that farmers increase their profit is by searing off the beaks of newborn chicks. They also chop off their toes. Then they put them together in this giant, what is called a grow-out house, or shed, if you will, where they live for the next 7 or 8 weeks together.
Now, they have a lot of hormones in their food, things like that.
They do. The reason that I was going to mention, the reason that they cut off their beaks and their toes is because they live in such close confinement that they are literally driven insane. They cannot establish a natural pecking order, and so they begin to peck each other, and often will peck each other to death. And that, of course, means profit loss for the farmer, and so he
So that's where the beak thing comes in.
It is. Now, where the hormones and antibiotics come in are it's also related to the conditions in which the animals live. When animals live in these crowded, dirty conditions, they get sick. And the best way to fight the illness is through the use of antibiotics.
And more drugs get pumped into the meat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And also, to make these animals grow more quickly and reach market weight quickly, and alive, if you will, they pump them, they feed them hormones to make them grow quickly. That's in the chicken industry. In the beef industry, we have some environmental problems. Same with the pork industry that we need to explore. Do you know that that groundwater is polluted regularly by the chicken industry, of course, and by the pork industry, and by the beef industry? When you have a large number of animals living in close quarters in one spot, their urine and feces has nowhere to go but into the ground, or it runs off into the nearby rivers and streams, polluting rivers, streams, lakes, and eventually the ocean.
Now, I've heard that one cow can feed, say, 10 people and consume like 3 acres of, I don't know what these figures are, while a vegetarian diet, those 3 acres can feed several times what one cow can feed.
To simplify that statistic, what we say is that for every pound of beef that a cow produces, that cow must eat 16 pounds of grain. So when you're eating 16, you could feed 16 people grains, or you could feed one person animal flesh. It doesn't make sense environmentally. It's a misuse of our resources. We should be feeding people the grains, not the animals. We need to eliminate the middleman, which is the animal. So.
Have there been studies, say, health-wise, regarding a vegetarian diet versus a carnivore diet?
It has been shown that that a meat eater has a 55% chance of having a heart attack, and a vegetarian person has 4% chance of having a heart attack. You know, animal-based foods are so high in fat, very high in cholesterol, very bad for humans. Meat eating can be attributed to cancer, stroke, and of course heart attack.
Now, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, besides stressing concern for animals that are used in food, also has a lot of focus on animals that are used in laboratories, part of testing, cosmetic testing.
Sure.
I understand that certain car companies, I guess you can name them, use
GM. Oh, yes.
GM uses live pigs in crash tests.
They do indeed. They slam them up against the steering wheel and try to tell the consumer that they are learning how to protect them, when in fact all the other major car companies have stopped using animals. What GM is engaging in is kindergarten science. They're saying when you slam a pig against a hard steering wheel versus a soft steering wheel, more damage or more injury results from the hard steering wheel. Well, I learned that in kindergarten.
It would also seem to me that you can go to any hospital at any time and find injured people from auto accidents,
Bingo.
and they could be using the real thing instead of a little pig.
Right, that's what other car companies do. They use dummies and they use actual scene evidence, if you will. from automobile accident?
Well, I understand that a lot of artists have donated time and talent on behalf of the animals.
Yes.
And one of the groups that has is a musical group.
Well, it's actually Nina Hagen and Lena Lovitch got together. They developed a song called "Don't Kill the Animals." They did a music video. If you watch MTV, you may have seen this video. It's really well done, and it covers all of the animal rights issues.
Well, why don't we show that video? It's a great video, great tune. It's been going through my mind since I've seen the video.
It's great.
So why don't we roll it? Don't kill the animals. All right. All right. I love that video.
Isn't it great?
I like it.
Good messages in it, huh?
Yeah, it's excellent. Well, what do you say? I think these hamburgers are ready. How are your dogs doing?
Some of them are done. Most of them are done.
Okay.
I have a few that aren't quite ready.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you let me decorate the bread here with some fixings?
Okay.
Why don't you put the hot dogs that are ready to go?
Here we go. I'm going to give you a few onions to go with those.
Okay.
You know, just like the regular meat-based hot dogs, only there's no cruelty in these. No
And
environmental destruction.
They're healthier for you?
Oh, yeah.
Less calories?
Yeah, and no cholesterol.
No cholesterol?
Well, you know that vegetable matter does not have cholesterol in it, period. It just doesn't have it. You only find cholesterol in animal products.
How about a couple of burgers?
All right, hang on. Let me switch this around here so that we don't burn any. I don't want to lose any of this delicious veggie food.
Smells good.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. I'm just going to give you a couple,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
On the bottom.
All right. Smell good, look good.
Just wait till you taste them. You're going to love them.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. While I'm decorating these, why don't you tell the folks at home what they can do as individuals to help out?
Okay.
And I'm going to be working on this.
Okay. Thank you for doing that. There are many things that individuals in our world today can do to help animals. And the number one thing to do is to stop eating them. By not eating animals, you will be saving over 1,000 animals. Do you know that in the average person's lifespan, they'll eat 1,000 animals? 1,000 chickens, 32 cows, 16 pigs, and countless fishes? By stopping or changing your diet and eliminating the meat from it, you'll be saving those animals. That's the first step. The second step is to begin to speak about the animal cruelty that you see in the world today. Just begin to educate your friends and your family about vegetarianism and why it's important to you, and why it's important to the planet, and why it's important to the animals. If you're interested in becoming more involved, please call PETA. We are at P.O. Box 42516, Washington, D.C. 20015, and our phone number is 301-770-8952. How you doing?
All right. I'm doing fine. I'm having the time of my life.
Good.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad you got done with your pitch, because now I can go and try one of these burgers.
Oh, wait, I can't wait. I've got to watch.
Okay.
You're going to love it. Now, there's not enough for you to eat all of them. So
Do I have to share it with my crew?
you have to share it.
Okay.
So you better enjoy that one.
I will.
Do you like it?
It's delicious. All you people at home, definitely try some of these veggie burgers, veggie hot dogs. Major supermarket chains now have sections.
They do indeed. Go and explore. If you explore your major supermarket, you will find whole aisles set aside for vegetarian foods.
All right. Well, thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
And
I had a great time. So
great
glad.
food, great video,
Well, I'm glad.
great stuff.
Yeah, well, thank you.
We'll see you next show.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Remember, love animals.
Don't eat them.
Okay. Thank you.